For about the past probably 20 years, I've been very interested in trying to help veterans one way or another, whether it's a living veteran that's trying to get benefits established, or if it's a deceased veteran, making sure that they're getting honors at their cemetery site, that they're having flags placed on their graves. So it would be the last 20 years that I've gotten really interested. Well, I think really it probably would have started back with being married to a Vietnam veteran that died of service-related causes from Agent Orange. And then after that time period, I got more interested in other veterans that were having problems and were not getting the services that they had coming to them. Mm-hmm. We now in Tuscola County have an excellent Veterans Affairs Director that is really seeing to it that a lot of the living veterans are getting their benefits and their services now. I also like to try to make sure that widows are realizing that they have benefits coming to them too. Mm-hmm. And now that, we've come on to this next stage of trying to make sure that our cemeteries are being taken care of, that flags are being placed on graves. When I first visited this cemetery at the end of the summer last year, and I saw 2 flags on the cemetery, I said there's no way there could be only 2 veterans buried here. And so from that point, I started trying to gather in the information about what veterans actually were buried in each cemetery. And I worked on a project almost 10 years ago in Tuscola County, where we were trying to make a registry of all of the burials for veterans. I was told by a person that I can't even remember who it was now, that our Tuscola County Veterans Affairs Director was interested in starting a project to register all of the burial locations for all of our Tuscola County veterans. I had already visited a couple of township board meetings to explain the 1915 law to them that requires them to provide suitable flag holders and flags for all of their veterans buried in the cemeteries within their jurisdiction. And so from that point, I realized that the project was too big to do alone. And I went and talked to Mark Zemersky, the Tuscola County Veterans Affairs Director, and he was already on page with starting a project. So it was just a perfect moment for it to happen. Mm-hmm. And then I found people that were willing to volunteer to work with me and others that were willing to be coerced into working. And so my friend and I spent basically the entire fall and most of the winter sorting almost 7,000 names into 45, 46 cemeteries in Tuscola County. Some of them were even like one-person burial cemeteries. Some of them are on family property. Mm-hmm. And we went through those lists and got them into a database, and then I was able to get them distributed out to volunteers that I had been able to find and to the township leaders to get the information that we needed to collate both lists. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, we ended up with huge differences from what they had previously thought they had. One cemetery went from 32 veteran burials to 127 veteran burials. And we just added 128 the other day because neither of us had one gentleman on our list.
Oh, wow.
So, and some of the cemeteries have been giving me wonderful feedback about the fact that this is what they needed to be doing for a long time. And many of the cemeteries are now putting some kind of notation next to each veteran burial that they do, so that when they want to make sure that they're getting all of the honor that they have coming to them while they are with them in their cemetery, all they have to do is pull up the list of all the ones that are veterans. Some of the townships have now gone on to having all of their records on computer, where they used to be working through a card file and sorting by hand. So we've done some really good things in two different areas, getting some of these cemeteries organized much better and making sure that we're getting all of the veterans noticed. But I don't think anyone purposely set out to ignore veterans. However, what has happened since the law was enacted in 1915 that states that every veteran in the state of Michigan must be buried in a location where there can be a flag and flag holder, that is provided by the township. And it could, or the municipality, it could be a city or a village that owns that cemetery and owns the property that that cemetery is on. But the law clearly states that they have the responsibility of providing the flag and flag holder for that veteran. Now, if someone has done a cremation and chooses to do a private burial, that's fine too. They don't have to worry about the fact that they don't have their veteran in a cemetery someplace. And we have a number of people right now that have a flag and flag holder at the location where they took care of the cremains from their veteran in the family, even though it was not in a cemetery. So it's something that is just a matter of honoring that veteran wherever the remains happen to go to. And the cemeteries receive a card whenever they do a burial. I'm told that the cards do not always indicate if that person is a veteran. However, in many cases, and I think probably almost all cases, when a veteran's buried, some organization does honors for that, whether it's American Legion, VFW, Disabled American Veterans, and there are some wonderful teams in Michigan that you can call on, and they will come in, and their sole purpose is to come in and do honors at graveside when there's a burial done. As soon as a veteran has services prepared for them because they've passed, there will be a card or something that will be sent along to the Tuscola County Veterans Affairs Director, so that they can say, all right, we have another one, he's in this cemetery, we need to issue you another flag holder and another flag. As of this year, the Tuscola County Veterans Affairs Office, through the County Board of Commissioners, is providing all flags and flag holders for veterans in the cemeteries in Tuscola County. We expect to extend this project forever. And the registry, once we get it up online, we were able to get a secretary now so that she is busy typing in all the information that I get to her as far as the data. And we will have on the website that we're having developed, we will have them sorted so the veterans can be sorted by their last name, by what cemetery they're in, and then we'll also have the information of their birth dates, death dates, the plot, and exact location in the cemetery for them, and then any other additional information, like if they were killed in action, if they have a Purple Heart, if they have a Bronze Star, if they went on to be the person that started a town in Tuscola County. We're going to have all of that available on the website once we get that completely developed. We've got, I was trying to count the other day, and in addition to the County Veterans Affairs Director and the Assistant Veterans Affairs Director and the Secretary there, I have about 40 people that have been helping us. And without all of those people, it wouldn't have happened. I've met some absolutely wonderful people in the townships, and I've met some other wonderful people, the Red Hat ladies who wanted to get out there. This summer we're planning on continuing to walk all of these cemeteries because we know we've still missed veterans. And so we're going to be walking all the cemeteries, we're going to be finding more, and as soon as we find them, we'll make sure that they have their flag and flag holder placed.